One rough question. If you guys were gonna use this fire extinguisher today to put a fire out, a lot of people panic, they forget about the first steps. I gave you guys a fire extinguisher pamphlet. To open pamphlet real fast, please. There's a couple good things good about the fire extinguisher, and there's a couple bad things about the fire extinguisher. If I had to ask you guys just a brief question off the top of your head, how many minutes? There's a trash can fire right now. The trash can fire is waist level and below. How many minutes do you have to enter this whole fire extinguisher to put that fire out? So just a brief quick question.
Take a guess.
Huh?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 pound regular
All
fire.
the way up.
ABC, yes. 5 minutes. You, sir?
Fine.
All right, perfect. You, ma'am? 3 minutes?
Would it depend on the type of fire?
No, just regular trash can fire.
I don't know, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. You guys have actually 1 minute to use this fire extinguisher and put that fire out. The biggest problem we get in the fire department, a lot of people panic. What's your name, sir? Hiram? Okay, Mr. Hiram. I can stand in front of his face, no disrespect. I can squeeze. Nothing's gonna come out because they panic and forget that first P. So simply using a fire extinguisher, if you open the middle of your pamphlet, it's 4 simple steps. It's gonna be pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. What's good about the fire extinguisher, any type of small fire you guys may find inside your apartments or your condominiums, it's gonna work like shampoo and conditioner inside of one bottle. You have an ABC fire extinguisher everywhere you guys may go. What's good about the ABC fire extinguisher, it's gonna put out wood, paper, and trash. It'll also put out liquid greases and also electrical fires. So instead of running back and forth to get water, to get soap, to get baking soda, to get stuff like that, you can use just one fire extinguisher and it won't put any type of fire out. Yes, ma'am.
What about the new compact ones that are the size of a hairspray
You can
can?
use those also.
Okay.
And those are also ABCs.
And those are easy,
They're
just,
easy to use. But the ones that you guys will find inside your hallways will be the ABC fire extinguisher, the 5 pounder. The big thing everybody forgets to do, pull the pin out. Without this pin not being pulled out, you cannot and will not be able to use the fire extinguisher. What a lot of people do.
Pull out the pin, let's see how you do it. Oh, that's it.
That's
It's
it.
easy.
Now, what you may find on yours is a small tag, and that's just gonna let you guys know if it's been checked, if it's been updated.
Louis put the
or
hidden
who's
cameras
maintained
in.
it. With that small tag, all you gotta do is put your finger in, twist and pull, and now you can use your fire extinguisher. A simple thing we also want you guys to look at, even if you have one for your home, there's a gauge. I get the biggest question, how do I know my fire extinguisher is still good? As long as it's in the green position, you guys can use the fire extinguisher. If it's in the red, it's either an overcharge or a recharge. When it comes to the overcharge, whoever maintained that fire extinguisher, as soon as you pull it out, it's gonna start spraying. With the recharge, 9 out of 10, this might be loose, the hose might be loose, and whatever's inside that fire extinguisher is simply leaking out. The only thing that's gonna be found inside the fire extinguisher is baking soda and pressure. Simple, baking soda and pressure. So if you don't have a fire extinguisher at
You
home,
make your own.
you make your own. You use the baking soda out of the refrigerator. Don't make it rain on it, but just sprinkle it on it a little bit. It'll put that fire out. We recommend that you guys never ever use water for any type of inside fire. The water's gonna make it a whole lot worse. What we do recommend is if you cannot and will not be able to use the fire extinguisher, just pull your pull station. If you can't make it to the first floor, where we're not asking everyone to leave out of the building and make it to the first floor. I don't know if you guys know about your building, but what's gonna happen on your building, the floor that's on fire, that alarm's gonna go off. The floor above it, that alarm's gonna go off, and the floor below it,
But nobody else.
not the whole building. So we're not looking for the whole building to evacuate.
But isn't the smoke gonna go
The smoke will go up, but it's only gonna go up on that floor, it's only gonna go up inside
up?
the
It won't
apartment.
go higher?
It won't go higher. And the best thing about it also is you guys have a sprinkler system. The sprinkler system's only gonna go off when there's smoke or fire, well, majority fire, it's gonna be ran by heat. So the hotter that sprinkler system get, it's gonna ignite itself. So don't think that the smoke is gonna make that sprinkler system go off. But you guys are protected by knowing how to use a fire extinguisher, and also your sprinkler system will go off, and it's only gonna put out where the fire is. So if the fire's right now in his chair, God forbid, this sprinkler right here is gonna go off. Not the whole entire room, but where the fire's touching it, where the heat's coming from it, that will go out, so you guys also safe.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I understand that our building is in full compliance in terms of the plan that we have, and the fire alarm system that we have. There's one area that I'm confused about in terms of approval of the plan. the floors that have a garage, when there was a fire situation, it's still there. The alarm went off in the garage, was not on the floor that matched up with the garage. Now, in a situation like that, how would a resident know whether to evacuate or not evacuate? And on the one hand, the floor that they're on, the alarm is not going off. They can look through into the garage and hear and see the alarm going off. How would they know whether to evacuate or not?
It'll be up to your building management that will react and go to each floor or on that floor and let you guys know if you are evacuating or if you aren't. If that fire can't reach to the residency, then you guys will be okay. But also remember, it should be a sprinkler system in the garage also.
No. No.
I don't understand the answer with all due respect.
Okay.
The building management is not going to come, for example, to the second floor of the building that matches up with the third floor of the garage to let people know whether to evacuate or not in the initial situation. If it's 10 o'clock at night, there's no quote building manager. The question is, if I'm a resident, how do I know whether to evacuate or not when I'm getting two messages at the same time? One is there's no alarm going off on the floor that I live on, and the second is there is an alarm going off on the garage that's attached to the floor that I live on. Which protocol do I follow?
It's gonna be a security's job, and it's gonna be their discretion to make that decision. You wanna chime in on this one, please?
Yes, we always recommend anybody that hears the alarm to evacuate, to go ahead and get out. Just so you're aware, the garage system is on the second floor, okay? Our garage, you can hear all the way up there. So anybody on the second floor inside the unit, they're gonna still hear, not from their floor, but they're gonna hear from the garage.
The common areas.
Yeah, which is a common area, so that's where his question is coming from. He's not initially going to hear it from his unit, but he's still going to be able to hear from the garage. So that's why he was asking about if he hears that alarm going off in the garage, should he still evacuate? And something that we always do to everyone is we always tell everyone, if you hear the alarm, just go ahead and leave. That's the best case scenario
Not
for you.
with me. Now, I called down at 7 o'clock. You had the fire at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we had.
I didn't hear it till 7. I called the downstairs and they told me, put a towel by the door and stay. And I did.
Yeah, but wait a minute, you're on the 17th floor.
Right, and she didn't hear it.
I was on the
Fire was
17th
on the
floor.
8th or 9th floor.
Yeah, if you're on the 17th floor.
I didn't hear it till 7 o'clock.
Like I said, the alarm system is gonna go off, the 7th floor was the fire. It's gonna go on the 7th floor, the 8th floor, and the 6th
down
floor.
below.
So anything above or
You don't
below,
have to
you
get
don't have to
out.
evacuate.
Okay, that's what I
Until
said.
they assess the situation,
Yeah.
and then they tell you to evacuate.
Yeah.
I didn't go out. I stayed.
Yeah,
You were going down with your shift.
If it's a major fire where the fire department deems that it's a full building
They'll get you
evacuation, yeah, they'll work on getting you out, because the reason why it's set up that way is because we want to minimize as many people running down that stairwell, because the fire is dangerous, of course. However, people being trampled when they're going down there is just as worse.
That's right.
So that's the whole reason why we don't do
We
full-
didn't do it.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. If there's a fire, like you're on the 17th, 18th floor, where do you go?
To the stairwell and just stay there.
To the where?
Stairwell.
You don't go up to the roof?
No,
You never go up to the roof? Okay.
just stay in the stairwell. For anyone who can't make it to the first floor, no matter if it's health wise, nervous wise, or they just feel they can't make it to that first floor, the elevator's the worst way to go.
No,
We're never
it's a
gonna
no-no.
use elevators. The stairwell is where the firefighters are gonna come up from. So as we're coming upstairs.
You'll see us.
We'll see and we'll take you guys downstairs. That becomes the biggest problem with someone who has a cane, someone has a walker, someone's in a wheelchair.
Because they can't
Just
go.
thinking of the stairwell getting clogged up, what they'll do is you'll have him will try to carry that person down. That's the worst thing ever, because now you're clogging up that stairwell, and you also have everybody who's up, pushing and trampling everyone down. So the safest and the nearest place for you guys to go if you can't make it to the first floor will be the stairwell,
The stairwell.
the stairs.
Not upstairs.
Not
I always
upstairs.
thought go up to the roof.
No, the stairs are gonna be the safest place.
If there is a fire, I did not hear the alarm go off. I'm on the 16th floor. Shouldn't we know about if something's going on in the building, so we could be aware in case we have to leave?
We don't ever make an announcement like that, like I said, to lessen mass panic. Because if the fire department has been able to contain the fire, or if it's something small, like for example, the one that we had on the ninth floor, it wasn't so much as a fire as it was more smoke than anything. If we go and start letting people know about this, and it's something that's contained or something small, now we're creating again the same issue of everybody panicking, people running down the stairs. And that's the one thing that we want to avoid at all costs. We want to try and get the emergency, the people that are in the most immediate danger out first. And then from there, by that time, they should be able to tell us whether or not the fire is going to be worse or if it's contained.
Because you will have more people trying to evacuate that hurts themselves than even the fire.
They panic.
They're panicking, they're scared, they're slipping and falling inside the stairwell, and then once they get downstairs, they're hurt. So when it comes to the fire, we're going to eventually put that fire out. The sprinklers gonna put that fire out. But people trying to get downstairs and hurting themselves, trampling, that's the biggest concern, getting hurting it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If there's a fire in the hallway, it make any sense to go out on the terrace?
Not really, because the hallways have a sprinkler system also, correct?
Yes.
The hallway has a sprinkler system, and then you go on the terrace, God forbid, you're stuck with yourself now. If there's a hallway fire, just get a towel, put a towel at the bottom of the door, and once the security at the front desk allows the fire department to know that there is a fire in the hallway, we're going directly to that hallway. And 9 out of 10, I'm sure security is gonna get their fire extinguishers anyway, and try to extinguish that fire as much as they can. But the biggest thing when it comes to the fire extinguisher, at a moment notice, you have to go and use that fire extinguisher. It will extinguish any type of fire that come about. You just don't wait a long time, because for a whole house to burn down, from the front door to the back door, it'll take 3 minutes. Because air is running back and forth, the fans are running, the air conditioner's running. First thing people do is open those doors and windows.
That's the worst thing.
And not feeding that fire.
Yeah.
But with a hallway fire, it's probably not doors and windows, and it's gonna be contained, and the fire extinguisher will put it out. And you guys have a sprinkler system also, so that will put it out.
Okay, so what about, we have a pool on the 3rd level.
Okay.
On the 3rd floor. So if we have to evacuate, does it alleviate mass people running down the stairs if we got off on the 3rd floor and went out through the pool area, through the back end of the garage?
I would say if they're gonna leave out and end up on that floor, as long as they can report to the 1st floor, or if they have to go to the pool area and away from the pool, it's perfect. All we're looking for is egress. As long as they're out, they're safe and away from the fire, that's all we're looking for. And also making sure that once they're out of that fire, they're not going back and forth to get items. That's the biggest thing we get in Miami-Dade
People
County.
go back, yeah.
We're outside, we're safe, perfect. People will go back in. The people who go back in, 99% of the time, they don't make it back out.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the fire that touches you and kills you.
Right.
It's the bad smoke you breathe in, you're panicking, you fall out, things are starting to fall down from the roof, things are starting to fall down from the apartment. Everything that's inside the condo is feeding that fire. So once you're out, just stay out.
Right.
And also just have some type of accountability. While whatever floor, whoever's living on whatever floor, come up with a plan where he's knocking on her door, she's knocking on his door, and just when you get to that 1st floor, you have a list to say, this person's out, that person's out, this person didn't answer the door, so we may have to go search and rescue for that person. Also, he already told me that you guys have a list of the disabled. So if it's someone who does need help, we'll get that list as soon as we get here, and we're searching and rescue for those personnel.
So they're first.
Yes. But it's gonna be more than one fire truck.
I know. I wanna get on that list.
Yes, ma'am.
If you could also touch base on their fire doors. A fire in the hallway, they're safe inside because of their fire door versus a fire inside, keep the door closed to contain the fire in there.
Yeah.
We wanna keep those doors closed, because you're opening those doors, you're feeding that fire.
Yeah.
And also, if you feel that door is too hot, just stay on the inside. The fire department will be there to help you, the fire department will be there to save you. The local fire you guys just had 10 trucks here,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Approximately.
yeah, around.
You guys come fast.
and we're right around the corner every truck.
Yeah.
So
They
it's
come
not gonna be
quick.
the fact where we're coming from by I-95.
Right.
But you will have a rescue truck here, you'll have fire trucks here.
Right.
If you feel you can stay and need to stay inside those condos, do so. As long as that fire's contained, that's the biggest thing we're looking for. Let that fire burn, your sprinkler's gonna go off, we'll get here and eventually put that fire out. 9 out of 10, before we get here, the fire's gonna be extinguished.
Right.
But we still wanna show up to make sure everyone's safe and that fire's not growing. Worst case scenario, if you do use the fire extinguisher to put that type of fire out, we still want you guys to pull that pull station. Pulling the pull station is due to the fact a fire will reignite. Will take it out, but it'll start all over again. So it's safer to have the fire truck on its way than to now it's reigniting, it's feeding itself again, and now we have to be called out all over again.
Where is the pull station?
It's one back there, that's why I brought it up. It's right against the wall,
Oh, I see.
that red pull box,
Yeah,
Oh, I see it now.
that's gonna be a pull station.
that's the only one here?
No, I'm sure it's more, it should be one every floor.
In your hallway, you'll have one on each end?
Never noticed it.
Yeah. And that will call a fire department and a police department,
Huh.
and we'll come together. So
And the fire doors are for how long? Is it 45 or an hour?
Probably an hour at most.
Hour?
Hour
Okay.
at most.
Every floor has that?
Yes.
Floor,
I gotta
yes.
go look, I never noticed it.
We gotta get
Should be
familiarized with
one on each
ourselves,
end.
what we got going on.
That's why we're here.
And the best thing to do is familiarize us with your building. A lot of times we'll get so stuck, you're on the 17th floor. You probably go up and down, by the pool, to the gymnasium, to the first floor. Walk around your building and get familiar with it. I think about the same thing when I teach classes. We go to Home Depot, we go to Walmart, we go to Publix. If a fire was to happen, we know one door
Where
to
the
came
exit
in
is.
and one door to leave out. So just look out for those exits, you have those exit signs right there, and also you know your pull stations are. Any type of emergency you may come about, pulling that pull station is gonna alert the fire department and also your police department. And it's gonna alert your front desk to let you know exactly where that pull station was pulled
Did
at.
we used to have them outside?
You're talking years ago.
The
Years
fire,
ago.
the fire
Where
extinguisher?
is it?
No, not
Years
fire
ago,
extinguisher.
where you could
They were
pull
fire
it,
alarms, they were on the-
fire
on the-
alarm.
on
Oh,
the
those
street
little like,
corners.
oh my gosh.
On the
Yeah,
street corners.
I'm talking many
Yeah,
years
a
ago.
long time ago, yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's
Do
a
you
city,
remember
that's a
when
city
you pulled
thing.
it?
That belongs to the city though.
Yeah, that's a city thing.
That was
Yeah.
New York City.
Yes, it's New York, those little red
And
pillars.
if you were a troublemaker, you pulled it.
Right, that was.
No,
No, there were a lot of false alarms because of
Yeah.
that.
That's right, there were a lot
And
of
A
then-
lot of kids would do that.
That happens to be one of the biggest faults we get in buildings. We don't know when it's a fire, when it's a real fire, when it's a drill. What we recommend at the fire department, as soon as that alarm goes off, just get ready to evacuate. That way you're outside, you're safe. Like I said, for a house to burn down from front to back is 3 minutes. A lot of people think it has to be the fire that touches to be killed. It's
No,
bad
of
smoke they
course
breathe in.
Yeah.
And also being trapped. If you are gonna use the fire extinguisher, if you are gonna try your best to get out, treat it just like you're mopping the floor. When you're mopping the floor, you never put your back against the wall. You want your back where you can exit out, God forbid you're trapped. That fire extinguisher should be used to bust a window, it can be used to trap a door, something like that, to let us know where you're at, what you're doing, what we're doing next. So it's just familiarizing yourself, knowing you use your fire extinguisher, pulling that pull station. Another big thing is when it comes to cooking, a lot of people start cooking, they'll
They
take their
walk away.
medication, they'll walk away, they'll start watching TV, and fire start real easy and real fast in the kitchen. I would say if you are gonna cook something, don't take your medication. If you are gonna cook something, leave yourself inside that kitchen. If you have to walk away, let's say it's something long, you're making a turkey or something like that, take something with you from the kitchen, that'll take you back to that kitchen. It'll put you in a mind state if you're sitting down watching TV, you're having a phone conversation, you'll wonder,
And you're forgetting.
why don't I have an oven mitt with me? That oven mitt will take you right back to the kitchen. A lot of people say use a timer.
Use a what?
A timer.
A timer.
You'll get tired of that timer going off back and forth and you'll realize, why don't I have this timer?
Alexa.
Alexa. That's new technology.
She'll tell you.
That's Alexa. But everybody doesn't have that Alexa.
I know.
So what we recommend is if you are gonna cook, stay yourself directly in that kitchen. Don't walk around, don't find yourself getting lost and forgetting you could cook something. Or don't take your medication that puts you to sleep and have something burning
What
inside
about
that kitchen.
candles?
I love
People
candles.
use candles,
I love candles, and I would say the thing with candles is just pay attention while you're using those candles.
but you have to blow it
You have to
out.
blow it. If you're gonna leave the apartment, if you're gonna leave where you're gonna go somewhere, blow them out. It's even worse for the plugins. A lot of people use the plugins, especially the Bath and Body Works plugins, whatever plugins you're gonna use. They leave them plugged in when there's nothing on the inside of it. It's still electricity running through that plug-in. A fire can still happen through that plug-in because just because it's empty, it's not gonna stop electricity from going through it. So it's small items like that that people have to look
Yeah,
about
little things.
to make
yeah.
sure everything's gonna be successful.
If you keep baking soda in the refrigerator, it's
Mhm.
good to have it handy because I know I've used it, works very
Perfect.
well.
I have it also.
Or
in the
if not, you
refrigerator
can
Yeah, but
use
to
them.
put out, with your.
To put out a fire.
Yeah.
I happen to be burning.
I think I
once
prefer
needed it.
that.
And either baking soda
Absolutely,
or
baking
keep
soda.
a hot top next to you or a plate. Remember, once the oxygen's taken away, the fire's going also. So the baking soda works perfectly, the fire extinguisher works perfectly. Water,
No.
never. Salt,
What is the
never.
worst? It sizzles up.
Don't pick it up and try to run with it, because God forbid that grease flips back and now you're on fire. So the baking soda is a perfect thing. Keep the pot top next to you, because once the pot top goes on whatever you're cooking, it's gonna die out. So either the pot top or a plate, it'll do the same exact things.
Now, if your fire extinguisher goes down and it needs to be recharged, down here, do they take it to the fire station, do they recharge it?
Not the
or
fire
what do you
station.
do?
The ones inside your building, they recharge them themselves. They're gonna be a small tag on it, and they
No,
give.
but I meant for an apartment.
Oh, for yourself, if you wanna go buy one yourself.
Yes.
If you're gonna go
keep
buy
it
one
in the
yourself,
apartment.
don't take it to the fire station. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, they'll give you a discount on a brand new one. Or you can always Google your nearest fire extinguisher company, and I'm sure they'll bring a new one to you and take yours back. And it's about 19, 20 bucks at the most.
So then you can't recharge it, you have to replace it.
You can recharge it, but that's gonna be with one of your fire extinguisher companies, one of your local fire extinguisher companies. But at Home Depot or Lowe's, they'll just take your old one and give you a new one with a discount. And don't put them inside your trash can, because if you put it inside the trash can and it compresses, it can also explode and start a fire.
Do not put it in the trash.
Do not put it inside the trash can, not at all. And just remember also, it's a one-time usage only. So if it's for a small candle fire or a large kitchen fire, you might as well empty it to its entirety, because you can't spray a little bit now and save a little bit for later.
So once you use it, it's done.
Yeah, once you use it, it's done. And once you use it and it's done, take it to Home Depot or Lowe's, they give you a discount, or just Google your nearest fire extinguisher company. I'm sure they'll deliver one or swap it out for you guys in this area. Yes, sir.
I know the optimum distance for heavy duty like that is about 10 feet away. What is the safest distance that one can use it to get closer than 10 feet?
I would say for the 5-pounder that you guys would have in your apartment buildings in the hallway, at least 4 to 6 feet away from the fire. 4 to 6 feet away, and I recommend that you guys don't, let's say this is on fire. I don't want you guys standing directly on top of it, because you're spraying the fire extinguisher on top of it, debris and everything's kicking back at you. So now you're shredding stuff like that on fire. So give yourself at least 4 to 6 feet away, pull a pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze and sweep left and right.
You have to squeeze it, right?
Yes, I want you to come up here and do it for me. Alright,
Put the pin in.
so I'm gonna put the pin in.
Alright.
It's kinda heavy, but I'll put it for you. We'll use the
And I'm
ball.
gonna pull it out,
Pull
right?
that pin.
Okay, I'm now going to
Aim
take
it
this
at the
off,
fire. Yes, ma'am.
aim at the fire, but squeeze.
Squeeze
No,
right
no,
here.
squeeze
You
it.
squeeze up here.
You gotta squeeze for me?
Okay,
Pretty cool.
yeah. Okay,
And that's
thank
as
you.
simple as it is. You're gonna pull the pin out, let's say we're standing up right now. And a lot of people, the problem
It
is.
won't work.
It won't work at all, because.
You gotta take it out.
You gotta take it out.
And
Everyone
people
forgets.
panic.
They panic, they forget, they try to throw the whole fire extinguisher inside the fire. They think it's YouTube, it's gonna blow up and put it out. It's not gonna happen like
Now,
that.
if I wanted to.
And you're
squeeze
saying,
something,
once you do it, you can't use
You
it
can't do
again?
it unless you call that company, they come out here and fill it for you.
Okay, that's good to
Or
know.
exchange it.
No,
Okay.
another thing a lot of people do also, they'll put pressure here, so you can't pull the pin out.
No, you gotta get the pin out.
You gotta let the pressure up, pull itself out.
When I go up now, we're gonna just practice.
But you can't practice
No,
on
no,
yours.
no, you can't.
No, I'm just gonna make believe, like,
But yeah, don't
Okay.
pull a pin.
Don't pull the pin out.
because I think a lot of people have them and don't know how to use them.
Because if you'll look on your pamphlet I gave you,
Yeah,
this is exactly how it's gonna look like when you go to your park.
okay,
If you pull that pin,
that's it.
that's it, you're pulling off that yellow little
Yeah.
tag, and there's your tag to make sure it's been maintained.
Okay.
So don't pull the pin out on your own upstairs,
Yeah,
because God forbid you push it by mistake, that fire extinguisher's done. You can never use it again.
I'm so afraid of fires.
Fire's a dangerous thing, and fire travels real fast.
Candles, matches.
Yeah.
People light a match, throw it in the can and don't put it out.
And we look for those things, just the more you pay attention to it, and the more you look out for each other, fires can be taken away without a problem. The ones that's gonna start, are gonna start, majority of the fires start in the kitchen. And it's gonna be in the kitchen, being careless, if you started cooking, you put the grease too hot, everything got too high, too fast, and you can't control it. The other fire we get a lot of Miami-Dade County is electrical fires, which they start behind the wall and work its way throughout the entire of the homes. So if you are gonna cook, we recommend you stay in the kitchen and make sure that when you're cooking, you're paying attention to what you're cooking. If you have a candle, if you're gonna leave out of
Yes,
whatever
yeah.
area you're in, blow that candle out. If you're gonna have those plug-ins, unplug them once they're in. It's small things like that, even with the cigarette smokers or cigar smokers. We asked them to get an ashtray that's gonna be deep. Not the old ashtrays that is the.
That were flat.
That are flat. The new ones are gonna basically make the cigarette flip inside. The older ones will let it flip outside. So if you are gonna be a smoker or something like that, a visitor comes to your home, either smoke on the balcony or smoke outside, or don't smoke in an ashtray that's gonna flip outside instead of it flipping inside.
You light candles Friday night. Do you go to sleep before the candles are out? No, you leave your candles going, right? But it's not safe. Am I right? No, when you light your candles, Shabbos candles, Friday night, you're leaving your candles, they're not gonna go out, and you're gonna go to sleep, right? You stay,
Do it before dinner. You like it before dinner.
so they're out by the time you go to sleep. There's a lot of
Shabbos
people,
candles
it's a
don't
big
last.
problem
Yeah.
with candles. Friday night candles, they light
Yeah, but
candles. and
Shabbos
everything.
candles don't last long, it's the your side that lasts, but they have special glass. The Shabbos candles are like 3-4 hours.
How long?
They're not that
Yeah.
long, right? They're 3 or 4
I
hours.
light, let's say,
Your side.
7:30.
No, they're about 3 hours.
7:30 to 9:30.
Yeah, they're out. It's
No,
the your
they're a
side.
little bit later,
Yeah, but your side is the one that goes for 24, 28 hours.
because that's dangerous.
Okay.
And then you wanna make sure if you are gonna use candles, you're away from linen. As long as
For
you're
curtains.
away from curtains, away from towels, away from drapes, be a perfect position. So let's say this candle on this table right here, it'll be in perfect position where you can't reach out and have something else right on fire.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the most common cause of an electrical fire that is preventable?
The GFIs, a lot of people aren't getting the ground,
Right?
hold on.
Ground fault interrupters.
Ground fault interrupters. We recommend, like, we have a smoke alarm program, which we go and install free smoke alarm in people's homes. What we've been doing our most now is telling them, get a certified electrician, not your cousin or someone that you found at the hardware store, but a certified electrician that's gonna switch out your GFIs or your old plugs for your GFIs. That's the most common one that can be preventable. Other than that, it's not too many electrical fires we get, either old wiring or plugging up too many things at one time. The biggest one we do get, those old cords that has 2 on one side, 1 on the other, the old brown cords. A lot of people stick them under the carpets to hide them.
Oh, is that dangerous?
Exactly.
Oh,
That the rubber part where it's off of it is still being plugged, and you basically have electricity live under your carpet.
I think there's a new law in Aventura, if you have a appliance put in, you have to have a GFI. Of course, we got a
We just got a
dishwasher this year.
dishwasher,
We
yeah.
gotta put in a GFI.
yeah.
A lot of things are being updated to put up the code, just like now you have to have a smoke alarm in each and every bedroom, the hallway and the living room area. Before it was one in the hallway was safe, but now they want them out throughout the entirety of the home.
Apartments also, or just private?
Condos also, yes.
Really?
We do it in.
Are they making them nicer looking at least?
No, they're smaller, they're not.
You don't see
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
unless you're very tall.
And then the good thing about the smoke alarms now is not the old school change your clock, change your battery. They have a 10-year lithium battery that's gonna ride out for 10 years. And you can't even take that battery out to use it for anything else.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I have the ones with batteries, and I change them every 6 months. So,
And the old ones.
Those are
the
old.
battery's a backup. No, I put these in about 2 years ago.
Okay. But some of them does come with a backup battery.
It's a backup
You
battery.
have electricity into it also?
Yes,
Okay,
Hot
perfect.
wire?
That backup battery, so if the lights come off, the hurricane comes,
there's a
the
power.
smoke alarm is still
Yeah.
working.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
If you evacuate the apartment to go to the stairway, should you leave your door open so when they're checking the apartments, they'll know where you are?
I would say lock it if you can. That way no vandalism can happen. Because as much as we'll feel it's a fire, no one's gonna bother anything, they will find that time to bother stuff because you left it wide open.
And you do check the stairway?
Yes, we do. We come up the stairs.
You do.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Well, we have a thing called search and rescue, and that's the first thing, we come up those stairs, looking for anyone who's gonna be trapped or hurt.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Anyone else?
Just really quick, you touched base on the common electrical fires. Maybe common condominium fires that may be preventable? Any, the top, I would say the top 3 or something that are very common in
You know the
condos?
pamphlet real fast? Just right here, which is, how to prevent fires for older adults. I spoke about the smoking part. It's easier to smoke outside.
Smoke, yeah.
If you're gonna smoke, either have that deep ashtray,
It is.
you'll see the first part, it says having that deep ashtray, or smoke outside, and don't smoke before you go to bed. A lot of times, people are laying in their bedrooms, they're watching TV, they're watching the news, and they're smoking. During that time of watching TV and watching the news and smoking, you guys may fall asleep, and now you're putting yourself in danger. How you doing, man?
I read it already, go
You
ahead.
retarded for the party.
This is about, catch on fire. There's always one.
The second thing, space heaters. It doesn't get that cold in Miami, but when it
No.
does get cold, everybody wants for those space heaters. We recommend it. I'm her space heater. Give yourself enough area where her pants can't touch my space heater, her sweater can't touch my space heater, or her cover, her coat, her blanket. I believe
Because it will cause the
Yeah,
fire.
it will cause a fire.
Yeah.
And with that space heater, 9 out of 10, you're warm, you fell asleep, and now that cover is itching, it's catching on fire now. So make sure if you are gonna use a space heater, give yourself enough space. Be wise when you're kicking in the kitchen. If you are gonna cook, we talked about that, watch what you're wearing. You wanna make sure you're wearing fitted clothes instead of loose clothes, because God forbid, you're reaching over the stove to cut
And
on
it
and
could
cut
go
off.
on fire.
It can catch on fire, all right? If your clothes were to catch on fire, best thing is just stop, drop, and roll. You can use the fire extinguisher to put someone's clothes out, just don't hit them in the face with it. As long as you don't spread in their face, you'll be okay. But stop, drop, and roll, for my older adults, you can stop, drop, instead of rolling on the floor, just walk back and forth on the wall. So just cover your face, because a lot of times, you fall down, you can't get up. So just to be on the safe side, just cover your face, and just roll back and forth on the wall, that'll put that fire out. Don't run. You running is gonna feed that fire. Don't try to jump in the lake, don't jump in the pool, don't jump in the tub, because you're hurting yourself, putting yourself in danger. So stop, drop, and roll, or stop, drop, and roll back and forth on the wall, or try your best to use that fire extinguisher. Smoke alarms save lives. The biggest, most common thing we have on the news now, people are able to get out because their smoke alarms weren't working. So I know you guys smoke alarms get checked every so often, but just make sure for yourself that your smoke alarm is working. Number 6, plan and practice your escape from a fire. I don't stay with you guys, management doesn't stay with you guys, security doesn't stay with you guys. It's gonna be up to your discretion to come up with a plan on what you should and shouldn't do during an event of fire. Should and shouldn't do as in, am I gonna use the fire extinguisher? Am I gonna use baking soda? Am I gonna run back and forth and fill my suitcase up because my floor is on fire? Just get yourselves out. Know your emergency number. Speaking of 911, that pull station beside the hallway, you can pull that pull station, that's gonna call your fire department and your police department. So if you're looking kind of crazy and trying to find out where my phone is, just pull the pull station. We'll be on our way. For people with disabilities, plan an escape also. Keep your cell phone close to you,